good morning or evening, depending on where you are in the world. So, as you know, I've made a video with my Cub. Absolutely love it. And today I received this Jungle Gyms kit for allowing me to mount that to this. So I'm hoping, as it's universal, to mount the main bracket over here, and theoretically that should slide and go through that gap between the control unit, the rear tire, and this. So here it is unboxed. You got instructions there, which is just I guess showing you what you've got in the kit. And drawings from NASA. Nah, it's actually probably going to be a lot easier than it looks. I think it's probably best just to use this as well as kind of winging it, because it is kind of self-explanatory, believe it or not. So your bag of bolts and attachments, and yeah, the gear's not too bad. Welds are pretty good. Made in the USA. It's a good sign. Solid enough. I saw a lot of guys online saying that these bent, so hopefully I don't run into that, but it looks pretty good. So I'll start piecing it together, and I will stop as I go to show you what's happening. So here we are, mid-install. A bit of mucking around. I tried on here, but I just didn't like it being so close and with possible bumps and undulations. So I've moved it up here, and it looks weird, but it does fit and goes quite high above everything once you've got all these bits and pieces in. So yeah, that's where it is. I've got the little black rubber mounts there, just to add. I didn't like steel on steel, so just add a little bit. It's only cheap stuff, but once it's in there, it just stops the scratching. It looks pretty good. Kind of matches the black. So yeah, just back the locking nuts off. Kind of, it doesn't look like it, but just within the edge so that they tighten on, basically making it the same width as the bar, nice and snug. See down there, those there. So I'm just leaving it there for now, kind of just resting there until I mount everything up. So here we are, it's pretty much done. So this is how I've finally mounted it. So 2 on that one, notch 2. This one's on the total opposite end to allow it to swing. Nice and tight. As I said, I've got some spring washers on there just yeah, they didn't come with any, which is, yeah, I don't like that, so I just added them. Add a bit more bite. But yeah, and again, under here, just to make sure it's nice and tight, because they didn't come with any washers, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I guess they didn't think they needed them, save a bit of money, but yeah, it's always quite good to have, doesn't hurt. Add a bit more bite to it, as I said. So that's it, that's the angle. It's slightly goes up, but there's no other way I can do it, and this, yeah, so it's fine. So now just got to put the last few bits and pieces where you actually mount the like the little brackets and hooks that hold the actual machine. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Bit of color breakup from the yellow, I guess, whatever, but yeah, it looks pretty good. It's actually really solid. I've fucking tightened this shit out of it. Obviously not near stripping, but damn near close to it, just to make sure, because that is fucking rock solid. I've seen a few jiggle them, they rattle a bit, but this is yeah, it's not going anywhere. The good old man saying she's not going anywhere. So yeah, nice and tight. Let's chuck in the last few bits to get the weed eater in, and that's the end result. So I love it, nice and solid. As you can see, I put a few lock or spring washers around just to give a bit of oomph, but overall very impressed. A lot of people might put this housing further back on this bronze gold bracket there, but I wanted to move it, I guess, forward. I didn't want it hanging all the way back and just have it on here. It's just better for the weight distribution. You got your rubber straps here, pretty decent hardware, one up the front, a little bit little, made in America, so good quality. And as you can see from the cockpit area, or the driver's seat, plenty of room on the controls, not in the way at all. Ample room, and from the side, really good, and from the rear, perfect. Miles in from the chute, so you're never going to worry about that then. It's just over the tyres, or equal width, and at the back, and true, it's about 5 or so centimetres or whatnot few inches past, which is fine. If you're driving forward, you can see what's coming, so you're never going to do that. And on my property, it's no hassle anyway. So I would give this 4.5 out of 5 stars, only because it's finicky, but then to be fair, it's a universal product, so making it fit is always going to be massaging. It's only nuts and bolts, so nothing too hard at all. But yeah, nice and solid, and I like it. Very, very good. Just slightly above horizontal, which is fine, but yeah, plenty of room, looks grouse, and obviously the best part of all, makes mowing the yard a hell of a lot easier. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. But yeah, 2 thumbs up, very good. That's pretty bumpy grass too. The whole thing is shaking at the same time, so that's good. It's actually just undulating and suspending, moving at the same rate as the lawnmower. Got a bit of grass here, a little bit of concrete. Just moving the same as my hand, the same as the mower. And I'm back after my first test run after the initial installation of the Jungle Gyms trimmer attachment. Absolutely love it. I think, to be fair, I'm more in love at the moment still with the convenience factor of having this on my ride-on, but in terms of the part itself, I can't fault it. If it decides to fall off one day, I'll make an update, but for now it's doing everything it should. In the video I posted, it's moving in unison, so everything's moving together. The cub's bouncing, the trim attachment's bouncing. I'm trying to film it and it's bouncing, but it's all bouncing together, so it's not loose and separated. It's not going a different direction than the cub, so that's a good sign. Very solid. In the video, there was a sound that was exaggerated, which is basically just this trimmer head itself rattling. It's not the cub, obviously, or the attachment. Now, some people might say that this might play havoc with the shaft of the trimmer, or maybe even the internal parts of it. I don't think it will, but I'm also prepared to take that risk and quite comfortable with that fact. Worst case down the line, you just buy a new trimmer. They're not that expensive, really. For those who are wondering, it's a Stihl FS-45C. So, in case you're wondering in terms of size comparison what I'm using, there you go. I've removed all the guards, handguard and whatnot, just because it's more lightweight, and for my section I don't need it. It's only doing very light, kind of fluffy grass, around letterboxes, around a few trees and that stuff. So I wanted more streamline. It's not hard just to hold that shaft and just trim it, put it back on and off you go, so that's always good. That's why I've done that. I did move it down a couple of inches just to bring the whole assembly forward. It's lowered it a bit, but that's as low as I want to go. Still plenty of room, plenty of clearance, easy to get to the controls, doesn't hinder them at all. But yeah, very, very good. I would highly recommend getting one if you have a large property and you don't want to always walk back to the shed. It just is so good to have. It is a universal fit, so there will be massaging, as I've said before, but hey, that's to be expected. And when you consider that fact, it's actually pretty good. So yeah, 5 out of 5, 2 thumbs up. If there is something that comes along, or I bend it or break it, I'll definitely do an update, but for now it's doing everything it should, and I'm stoked. If you have any questions or whatnot, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll let you go. Cheers.